It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
Hey guys, how is it going? And welcome to the Morning Star Drive on 117.8. It is Wednesday, September 3rd, and so happy for you joining us. We are ready to start another day together with the Lord. So, subscribe to us on YouTube, do not follow us on SoundCloud, and make sure to support us on Patreon. So today we have an exciting podcast for you. We have the world news, evangelism word study, and of course commentaries, updates, and news on what is happening around the world in this history today. All right, how are you doing? It is a wonderful and awesome Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week, and yes, we're already in the middle of the first week of September. We are going strong already into September. We're getting deep into it. Don't forget, we have a Q&A Thursday tomorrow and every single week, so get those questions ready. Send it to me whenever you can. And if you haven't yet, leave a like and comment to build our community. Just super happy for everyone joining us every weekday on the Morning Star Drive. So let's get up and support each other each and every day. This week's Sunday message title is positives and negatives, strengths and weaknesses, pros and cons, however you want to put it. I hope you guys have really been putting that into action and holding yourself from the negatives, but not just kind of like putting it aside, but as the message said, we need to actively work on fixing our negatives. Okay, so this is a very, very important thing that all of us really have to understand too. So I'll tell you this, something very, very exciting happened the other day in Korea. So, I'm in the Sangyo Center, the World Missionary Center, which is in, at the very, very bottom, like near the bottom, it's near the village, Seongmangni, at the bottom of Wolmyeongdong. And, last week this happened too, but once again, a different YouTuber came up to try to get into Wolmyeongdong. So it's kind of cool. Oh, it's fun. Like, once again, it's kind of exciting because it's like, whoa, what's going on? And then, they're doing it live. So you see them going up the same roads and they're trying to get up into Wolmyeongdong. They're walking up with cameras. There's like a Catholic priest and one big YouTuber and what else is there? A big YouTuber, a Catholic priest, and someone else, like 3 or 4 guys. No, well, altogether there's probably 5 or 6. But there's these 3 big names, and I think the channel has like 1.5 million people subscribed to it. But like even the live was less than it wasn't really overwhelmingly like popular. I think when I was watching it, it was like 400 people watching a live stream, which honestly is very, very. Well, I guess it's good, right? But for someone with 1.5 million, it's actually pretty small, right? So that's like less than 1%. Isn't it? Would that be less than 1%? 1% of 1.5 million should be like 15,000 or something like that, right? No, is it 1,500? No, it should be 1,500. 1,500? 1,500? You add 2 zeros, which should make it 15,000 and then 100. Yeah, it's going to be 15,000. So it's a very, very small number. And I think at one point it reached up to like 500 something, but that's about it. Went up to Wolmyeongdong, and then of course we didn't let them in. And then they were like arguing with the people at the security gate and stuff like that. It was honestly, guys, uneventful. Right? It's private property, so they can't go in there anyways. Police came, stopped it, so they had to leave anyways. So there's the first part. So we're just kind of like watching, like, oh, it's interesting. Then they're like, we're going to go to the missionary center. And we're like, whoa, they're coming over to our place. So we see them driving down, coming towards us, and they get to the gate. Of course, the gate is closed. And then they're like, of course, they know that it's private property and they just can't come in, right? There's one thing is they just can't come in. So they know that for sure. And, they're calling to see whether, if we will allow them to come in. And it's just interesting just watching it. Like, they're right in front of us at the gate. We're just watching. It's like, oh, it's so interesting. Now, a couple things that were really interesting to me, right? Like, a couple things that I was thinking about. Now that you know that Netflix is not really doing that well. Actually, for those of you guys don't know, hold on. Let me just check right now. The last time I checked on Netflix, it was at number 8. So this is actually way faster than I thought it would be. But it was guess what, guys? It's at number 9 right now. Netflix is at number 9 at the moment. So, even for me, I'm just like, Netflix is just quickly going downhill from now. It really is. It's just going downhill. It's losing interest. A lot of people are not watching it, right? So, remember I was telling you like the other day, is like, hey, if Netflix doesn't work, what's Satan going to do? Satan's going to find another way to make something happen. I was like, wow, Satan's really trying hard. So, it's just interesting to see that now that Netflix isn't working, like Satan is trying to send these people, and like they're saying some ridiculous stuff in here. And like for me, like I was listening to them, I was like, man, these guys are man, saying those things that harshly about someone when you don't even know the full situation. I think that is something that they're going to regret in the future. You know what I mean? So even for me, I'm just like, wow. But like, so number one is I was thinking like, wow, man, Satan's trying to find as many ways as possible, right? And just to see these pastors coming, trying to get to Wolmyeongdong, and they're like even demanding like, at least you should bring out a pastor to speak to us. And we're like, we don't have to do anything, kind of thing, right? And one of the guys was even cussing. And I was like, that doesn't sound like really like that's the way you want to do it. But but the thing that made me think a little bit more deeply was these people were really old. Like, I think they were all like, maybe not all of them, but at least one of them, the person who had this YouTube channel, he's definitely older than Sunstein. Definitely. The pastor, the Catholic priest, he's old. And I would say probably 60s, maybe 70s, but 60s most likely. 60s maybe, late 50s, 60s, around there. And the other guy too, they're all older people. And I thought to myself, is like, why is it like only older people doing this, right? And I'm thinking maybe that it's just the older people that have more rigid thoughts and are more into religious things than the younger people, right? Like for me, being all the way in the countryside, seeing these YouTubers come is kind of exciting for like, whoa, like it's, there's some, not exciting as in I'm excited and happy about it. I'm more of like, dang, like they're actually coming. And this is like the most amount of action I've ever seen in Wolmyeongdong in over a year. Like I just haven't seen any of these things happen, right? So it was kind of like exciting just to see something happening. And then the police were coming. And it was basically in the end, it was just old people arguing. That's what it was. Old people arguing against younger people. I thought it was quite entertaining just to watch, to see what these people were thinking. And for them to decide to come to our office, it was just like, for me, it just felt like they were just using it so more people would watch and promoting, like have a longer live stream, whatever it is. And I was just like, well, like it's quite interesting how their thinking is. In the end, very uneventful. The only thing exciting was the buildup. You know what I mean? It's like when you see them slowly moving up to Wilmington, you're like, oh, what's going to happen? But of course, in the end, it's not like a movie where everything is like crash, boom, bang, and then like everything gets destroyed. Like it's nothing close to that at all, right? So in the end, uneventful. Buildup was fun. Just watching and seeing where they're going and stuff. I thought that was quite interesting and fun too, but ultimately, in the end, yeah, it just wasn't. It was uneventful, and it was kind of like real world stuff. It's kind of like the same thing when you think about when Satsi talks about the Sunday message. People are looking for like being overstimulated. They want to get overstimulated, and that's not the right way to do it. And people, instead of getting overstimulated, they should have the daily stimulation, right? The things that are basic stimulation every single day, receiving it from the thoughts, receiving it from God, the Holy Spirit, more in their heart, their thoughts, their spirit, and stuff like that too, right? And of course, because we have a body, our body, it doesn't allow us to be overstimulated spiritually speaking. But of course, if we're in spirit and we meet God, it's completely different, right? Being in the body, it kind of tampers the level of excitement because we're in our physical bodies, right? So when I looked at that, I was like, this is what reality is. And there's nothing really that exciting that goes on, like to that level. Like guns get pulled out, people are doing stealth missions and stuff like it's nothing like that. Even for me, I kind of walked outside to see like what these guys were doing, and it was just like, everyone obeys the law pretty much. They weren't going to climb the fence and then get charged for trespassing. Like they weren't going to do that. So they just stood at the gate, and then they spoke a little bit here and there, uneventful, unexciting stuff like that too. They made these bold proclamations and stuff, but it wasn't, it just wasn't anything that was capturing or garnering any attention. right? That's why even right now, think about it. Remember I was telling you last week, like telling you at the beginning of the week is like, man, it's already at number 5. And I wouldn't be surprised if it gets out of the top 10 by the end of the week, right? Like 8, 9, 10 by the end of this week. And think about it, guys. It's Wednesday and it's already at number 9 or 8, right? It's already, oh no, is it 8 or 9? 9, I said 9, right? Yesterday it was 8. Today's number 9. And by Friday, you'd probably be number 10 or even out of the top 10. Like that's kind of what it feels like. And this is only week 3, guys. We haven't even finished week 3. It's been 2.5 weeks. So Netflix is already kind of moving out of the picture. More and more other popular shows are coming in. And the reason why I'm thinking about old people and young people when I saw like the YouTubers coming, like last week there was a YouTuber, he was quite old too, like in his 50s. But when I was thinking about it, these are all older people and the younger people are not interested in these religious things. The younger people are actually more interested in like these shows, entertainment, and what Sansim said, overstimulation, right? And which makes me think in 2 different ways. Like I was like, well, it's kind of cool that since they're not into this, they're just not interested in these shows, these Netflix shows and stuff like that. They're just not. But number 2, it made me think deeply is they're just not interested in religion in general, right? I'm talking about in Korea. It looks like that in Korea right now, or maybe in Asia in general. Interesting thing is when I was kind of looking to see what's happening in like, say, the Western world, in the Western world, there's actually a resurgence of faith in young people in the Western countries, which I find pretty interesting. Right? Like I was reading an article that said there's this notable shift with an increased commitment to Jesus among U.S. adults, right? And in 2021, it was 54% said they made a personal commitment and it remains important to them to go to church, to believe in Jesus. Now, in 2025, it jumped up 12 percentage points to 66%. That personal commitment remains important to them. And they said, especially right now, it's Gen Z that are playing a key role. It's basically Gen Z these are the young adults that are showing higher levels of church attendance and engagement, helping reverse long-term declines in religion. So we see that there's kind of being a change that's moving along, right? One that I found was quite interesting was in the UK. In the UK, attendance among 18 to 24-year-olds quadrupled, right? So 2018, it was 4%. It's 16% from 2020 until 2024. So 18 to 24-year-olds attending a church quadrupled in like 6 years. And the biggest change is young men. Young men is actually the biggest change. And young men is actually at 21%. So even though it's quadrupled from 4 to 16%, young men actually coming is 21%. It's risen to 21% actually starting to attend church. And what I thought is like that's super interesting in the Western culture that to see a resurgence in faith, but it also means that we really need to catch that trend, catch these people. And evangelism, we need to evangelize much more at this time. Like it's something that I do think I do want to talk about a little bit more when it comes to the evangelism word study a little bit later. But it is something I think is very, very important for us to understand. And I hope it's something that all of us will really get our hearts and our minds to think about and kind of bring ourselves to understand that there is a movement, a resurgence in the Western countries moving towards young men coming back to faith, right? And I hope it's something that all of us can recognize also so that we'll be able to, spread the net out and catch these people. We need to catch them, right? So, this is really, really a time for us to go out and evangelize. And I think that's why Sunstein is pushing it because I think he already knows that there is a resurgence in evangelism that's happening too. So, yeah, I thought that was a very, very interesting statistic. For me right now, I can't believe it's September 3rd already, right? And of course, I don't want to be pushing this subject so much this week, but, it's like halfway to my birthday. 3 more days. I'll be 47 on Saturday, right? Actually, the funny thing was someone actually missed, some people listen to my podcast or they listen to parts of it and they're like, they thought my birthday was last Saturday. So this is why I do my due diligence to make sure everyone knows it's this Saturday, not last Saturday. Please know, everyone, my time on earth is coming to an end soon. I already, I actually already, I've already had one birthday party on Monday. Nice carrot cake. I'm not sure why I like carrot cake now, but carrot cake's not as sweet, so I really like that. And I got some coffee beans for a gift, so which is very, very nice. I'm very thankful for this too. So, just want to let you guys know that, I really don't care about my birthday. I'd be lying. Actually, I'm kind of lying when I say that, and that's a negative I need to fix. I care about it, but I don't care about it. What does that mean? I don't really celebrate it that much, but, actually, maybe I don't even know what I'm saying. Maybe I just like it, right? Maybe that's just it. Yeah. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't care and I care at the same time. Does that make sense? I care and I don't care. I don't wish to have a huge party. I don't wish to have all these huge things happening. However, I do think it's like in my early 40s and late 30s, I really didn't care about it. It's like, it's just another birthday. But maybe it's because I have less time on Earth. I'm thinking it's more important. Yeah, I'm so stupid. Either way. So yeah, that's what a weird way to think. There's been a shift in my mind from before. Oh, by the way, I went to the hospital today. Today's my last official checkup, and I thought I was gonna get my walking boot taken off, but the doctor looked. He said, you know what? One more week, and then you can go to regular shoes. And the reason is, well, they said usually at around 3 months, and 3 months for me is the 11th, which is pretty much exactly a week, almost a little bit more than a week than today, which is nice, right? He said good progress. My mobility, everything else is really, really good. You take off the boot a little later. You're having good progress. So next week, probably the 11th or somewhere around there will be my 3-month mark. And he's like, yeah, let me give you some exercises to strengthen your calf muscles again. And he felt my Achilles. He said that he can feel it all the way up now. And now, he's like, he gave me some exercises for rehab. He's like, you don't even need to go to get rehab as long as you do this at home, stretching it and strengthening it each and every day. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool too. So I would say like just about a week. It could be less, it could be more, but about a week. And I'm thankful because it's before I go on tour back to Canada and stuff like that. So at least there is progress, which makes me super happy. And especially before I go back to Canada and America for like a 5-week tour. So very, very grateful and thankful about this too. For me, I don't know why, but I am, I'm like super tired. Yeah. Like super tired, right? So I went like today. One of the there's someone who's going to the airport for like another tour in a different country. So I early in the morning drive them to Daejeon, right? And then I had a cup of coffee in the morning, worked on the podcast, and then went to the hospital. Then went to another cafe, but just spent like 3 cups of coffee already, but. I think I'm over caffeinated because I can feel like I can feel the caffeine buzz, but I'm still tired. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna cut down a bit because I don't know. I feel a caffeine kick for sure. It's super strong, but I also know that when you have a lot of caffeine, it's going to be a strong downer too, right? So yeah, I also realize you do need to lay off on the caffeine too, and I still need to record the Rebel Pastor video tonight also. But already ton of work coming down the pipeline. These 2 weeks before I'm leaving the 19th, so it's almost exact. Is it 2 weeks and 2 days? I'm gonna be 10 of those days, and it's gonna be crazy, right? Ton of work coming my way before I leave, which is a great thing, and I really need to get this done quickly and fast. I'll get all my work done, make sure everything is settled, done before I leave. And of course, one good thing I'm so thankful for is that, this might sound really weird, but I'm so thankful that not many Westerners are coming to Korea because most of them came in 316 because there's just a lot of work to be done, like paperwork and stuff like that too, translations, these different types of things, and we got to get that done. If we don't get that done, it's going to be very, very difficult. But yeah, today is an especially tiring day for me, but I'm thankful and grateful to be here in the position I'm in right now, hoping I can do it to the best of my ability. And there's just so much to be thankful for constantly, and so much to really see, especially this week's message about fixing our negatives and fixing our weaknesses and stuff. And I'm very thankful for this week's message too. And I'm very, very actively working hard on a certain, like, I'm working on this one part. I'm like, yeah, this is negative. I got to fix kind of thing, right? So there's like, it's cool to be able to have that real focus, deliberate, conscious focus on it too. And, before the big work comes, one of the things I realize about myself too is, before the big work comes, I think actually not even before, it's before and after. And it's both or either or. Like, we have to watch out for Satan that will come and attack us and derail things right before or right after, right? And I would say for me, I'm so excited before that I'm gearing up and I'm getting prepared and ready. So that's cool for me, but it's always after when I'm exhausted and tired. And then you kind of you become too comfortable. You let yourself loose a bit. And like, I'm very focused before, but it's after that I'll probably get into a little bit more trouble with the slip ups, and I might say the wrong thing or might do the wrong thing like this. Cause you just want to be comfortable and relaxed and just like, oh, do I have to go through more work kind of thing? I'm not sure about you guys, but I'm more of a person who will get trapped at the end, like after everything's done, more than before. I'm kind of like the Elijah syndrome, where it's Elijah, after he defeats the 850 prophets of Baal, then a small problem happens and he just like, oh, forget this kind of thing. And I'm just like, yeah, like I'm more on that end. I'm not sure about you. Like, what about you guys? Are you guys more of the people that get caught up before or after like the big work happens? Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing that I wanted to ask you guys about. Either way, so yeah, interesting. Hopefully you guys have, hope you guys are having a great and awesome Wednesday. We do have the evangelism word study next. I will talk a little bit about internet evangelism, but before that, let's get into the first music break of the day.
I was a lost one. I found the right one. I found the right one. Yeah, we're looking for the lost ones. I was a lost one. I found the right one. I found the right one. We stay looking for someone to hold when the right one's standing at your door. Open up your heart and say, I believe in what you say, and I promise you will gain much more. Yeah, we're looking for the lost ones. I was a lost one. I found the right one. I found the right one. Yeah, we're looking for the lost ones. I was a lost one. I found the right one. I found the right one. 10 years of struggle, 10 years of pain, but I'll finally get to see you no more. Just calling your name, and the ones who wonder who, just open up your eyes. He's waiting for you too. He's not a man in disguise. And the hardest cross to bear, but your heart's not what I wear. To think this effort and this love could overcome the dirty stairs, and it's all because of you. Yeah, it's all because of you. Said it's all because of you. Yeah, I need you. Looking for someone to hold when the right one's standing at your door. Open up your heart and say, I believe in what you say, and I promise you will gain much more. Yeah, we're looking for the lost ones. I was a lost one. I found the right one. I found the right one. Yeah, we're looking for the lost ones. I was a lost one. I found the right one. I found the right one.
All right, so let's get into today's evangelism word study. And really, really awesome because I just had a time with one of the countries. They had a bunch of questions about internet evangelism. And internet evangelism has been going on for quite a while now. And, like I said, in Korea, there's over 2,000 creators, and there's creators in Taiwan, in Japan, and here and there. And when we look at what is considered successful, if I were to give you a very, very honest take, is we're only looking at short-term success internet ministry at the moment. Right? Because we're looking at these different types of internet ministry that is being able to connect people right now. Like some teams talking about what can we do right now? What's the best thing we could do right now at this moment? So the thing they have to realize is if you're in a long-term internet ministry channel, it's going to be very, very different. Now, what does that mean? It basically means that for long-term, it means that you're doing more external. You're just growing a channel. It's almost like a job where you're trying to try to get 100,000, 1 million people that are following your YouTube or your Instagram or something along that line. That's very, very long term. Long term meaning probably going to take you at least 3 to 6 years. Okay, so there's the first thing that if you're doing long term, it's something completely different. Also, most of the internet ministry that I've seen, like say, for instance, one of the most unsuccessful internet ministry, or people think it's internet ministry, is posting Proverbs. I haven't really seen a successful posting Proverbs. I haven't, right? Like where people are just constantly, more and more people are wondering where it came from, and then they're doing this and that, and then they're connecting people to the word. I haven't seen that, right? I look at posting as it was a very good start, meaning it was a good start to get everyone to get into internet ministry, and people are saying that, oh, I got this channel here, I'm posting up Proverbs, this, and this. I think it was a very good way of starting it. But even if you look at, say, the top 8 creators in Korea out of 2,300 creators, none of them are they're not just sitting there posting up Proverbs. Right? They're doing other stuff with that. And I think there's one channel that does post Proverbs, but they do it with animation, which is completely different, right? So what I would say to you guys is there's a lot of different things that people are trying. There hasn't been anything yet that is like super successful anywhere, really. I would say the closest thing to success we've ever had is probably what Taiwan is doing. I think that's probably the closest to real success, where they have like these AI educations, and while they do that, they teach people about life, and then they bring like dozens of people to come to an intro lesson. And of those people in the intro lesson, you'll have like about 5 to 8, maybe 10 people that start studying the word. And I think personally, wow, that's pretty good. And that's only one church. And I'm like, that's pretty good. The only other one I've really, really seen being crazy successful is actually what I'm doing right now, which is Zoom Bible studies. And the Zoom Bible studies is basically, as long as you're in the same time zone, relative same time zone, anyone can join. And if you're in the relative time zone and anyone can join, what does that mean? It basically means that you basically have gathered evangelism teams from anywhere in your time zone, from any country. So you're, like the hands and feet from, like, say for me lecturing, I don't go out to evangelize. I just prepare the lecture. And then I teach on Monday nights, and people are just bringing their newcomers. That's it. That's all that happens, and it's done, right? So even when I look at this, I'm like, oh, okay. So this is something that's very, very it's very, very interesting, right? That it's happened in this way, right? So when I would say that it's been the most successful because I would say is you mobilize a lot of people to do evangelism, and you take away one of the hardest parts, which is the lecturer, right? So we don't have a lot of lecturers in the world altogether. And like, say for me, I'm covering a weak spot in, say, Korea and Japan, where there's no native speakers that lecture. So if people want a native English-speaking lecturer, then they'll come to my Bible study and connect people through there, right? So when you look at it this way, it's like, oh, okay, so that's the way it works, kind of thing, right? And I'm actually covering a hole that's needed in this Asian area time zone. Now, if I went to America or Canada, I wouldn't be covering as big of a hole because there are many lecturers, like what do you call it? Native speaking lecturers. And that makes it so much easier, right? Where people are not like, oh, I really need to go to Pastor Sky's. No, they don't, right? So you have a lot of lecturers over there, so it's a lot easier for them to use those lecturers instead. So that's another thing that I look at and say, yeah, that's, I'm covering a hole that is very, very needed here. And that's why it's easy to mobilize so many people to bring English-speaking newcomers over to this Monday night Bible study. Lots of people connected. At the moment, there's 40 newcomers that are registered. Not all of them came just because of this, but it's been a good help for a lot of these people. And because of that, it's now also that, it's something where it can just become a spark for some people, right? They may, they're not going to listen. Some of them won't listen to the very end. Some of them will go to another lecturer or whatever it is, and that's fine. As long as people are being connected, I'm fine. So I would tell you guys is, it's something where I also think, and there's one thing I told one of the countries that I was talking to today is it depends on the size of your country. If your church has 10 people, you don't need 5 internet ministry accounts. And the reason I say this to you guys is because of my own experience, one thing I can tell you absolutely is the amount of time and effort it takes to run a social media channel. It's like a real job. It's marketing, basically, what you're doing. So it's not something where it's just like, when someone's marketing their product, are they just like posting pictures of themselves like a selfie? No, they're not going to do that. They're very calculated in every single thing that they're marketing for their product, and they're putting tons of money into it. That's the same way that you have to look at it and the same way you have to see it, which means that if you have 10 people in a church and there's 5 different accounts, then all 5 people or all 5 accounts are putting that much energy and research into it. And if you put that much energy and research into those accounts, you're using like 50 to 70 hours a week of just research and such. And it's a lot of work where, say, Instagram, you should be posting 2 to 4 posts a day, right? And what I'm saying is that, if you just make a team and you have a church of like 10 people, it's far better to use that and use all 10 people and they only put in like 3 to 4 hours a week, 4 hours a week each. And that would equal one person doing like 60 to 70 hours a week, right? And it's far better to do it in a team, especially when your church is that level, meaning it's a pioneering or a small church. So I definitely wouldn't go too much into trying to make so many channels because it takes that much effort, that much time, and that much energy to actually make a good social media channel, right? It's work. It really, really is real full-time work, and people have to be that into it. Right? When you get that into it, then you're going to realize, wow, this is why some people are very successful, because it is an actual literal job, right? So I hope it's something that we can, I hope that it's something that we'll really be able to get to start working on. And I'm going to tell you this too is, internet ministry, like a lot of people are thinking that they have to do some content where it's basically that's going to be the content that's going to attract people to come to Bible study. And I'm going to tell you this, that's not easy to do. It's really hard. And sometimes it's better for you guys just to use internet ministry as a supplemental, something that someone else has already made. If someone else has already made it, then use that instead. And once they use that, then it becomes something where, then you don't have to go out and make it. Someone's already made it. Just use that material instead. Or like this one thing that I was thinking about, like even though like I would say that the Proverbs Instagram's like, it's not very successful, like to bring people in, but it could be used as like a church channel where, as we're in a new time of technology, sometimes it's good to have a church channel for Proverbs where everyone who wants to see Proverbs, they're going to go straight to that YouTube channel. That Instagram channel, and always their Proverbs are going to be on that channel, which is kind of cool, right? Which means that you're utilizing social media for these types of things where they're going to be on it anyways, kind of thing, right? So, and then later in the future, it's a supplemental thing where you have a newcomer and the newcomer just has to go to the Instagram and then now they get all the Proverbs too. You know what I mean? So I think it's something that we could be utilizing for our churches too, not just for internet ministry, but internal ministry for the people inside the church too. Yeah, lots of things to think about, guys. And I think it's something where we need to utilize it in a way, not just thinking too directly like we need to make something that's going to bring people to church. And the answer is, yeah, we still haven't found the right way yet. We're still, trial and error. And do churches have, if you only have 5 people in your church, do you want to use that time and energy on that? Because what if you do become successful and then you have 10 newcomers that are coming to a church of 5 people? You're gonna handle that? That's something you should be thinking about also. So there's just a ton of things that we have to kind of put into our hearts and our minds and realize some things you just got to be, you may not be ready for it yet, but it could be something that's more for the future, and it's better to use supplemental materials that other people have already made. And then later, when you grow to a certain point, you can start doing it in this or that way. You know what I mean? So that is something that I do think we can really think about and really have that mentality and mindset and just understand that this is, internet ministry is in the infancy stage in Providence, and we're all still searching for it. And it's going to take thousands and thousands of hours, right? And when I mean thousands of hours, I'm not talking about all together. On one channel is going to need 10,000 hours of work just to find the real success on one channel. So if you have 1,000 channels all doing 1,000 hours, think about that's 1,000,000 hours, right? When you could have used 1,000,000 hours focused on 10 or one channel or 5 channels, whatever it is, you'd be far more successful in that way, for sure. Either way, that's a lot of different things that I've been thinking about. And when it comes to internet ministry, I think we need to kind of bring ourselves to that next level of how we do things also. Okay, so there it is, guys. That is the evangelism word study. We talked a little bit about internet ministry. Hope it's something that you guys enjoyed, gained a lot from too. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comments below. Love to hear from you guys also. Okay, so before we get into world news, let's move into the last music break of the day.
2023. We've all come a long way. Many different stories, but we're all on the same journey. Many ups and downs, but we're all still around. Many lessons, but each one came with a blessing. Let's not forget for when we come from when we make this confession. Some people just want to watch the world burn. As for you and I, let's set ourselves on fire, shine a light so bright that will make the people say, burning life. Look at the flames in my eyes, watch it burn, but don't stare too long, you might lose your sight. Some people gunning for our downfall, but they'll never see our demise. Burning life. Who's the one? I'm the one, he's the one. Are you the one? No, we're the ones who keep the fire going till the day we die, till they see the light, make it bright, till we hear the people say, born sinner, never could be ill. I know I'm back from the dead, yeah, the Lord is my healer. I took the red pill, that's why I call him teacher. When you learn about the spirit, oh, there ain't nothing realer. The one you learn from determines your entire destiny. Learn from the one who taught about eternity. Cloud craving, paper chasing, the joy is only temporary. I don't wanna do the same thing, so I hard to count the vanity. I keep my eyes on the prize. I'll never sell my soul to the devil in disguise. With both hands on each side, I'm holding on to dear life. I keep my guard up, never back down. When it goes down, I call on the Christ. Spiritual battle, answer the call. It's Call of Duty, modern warfare, put the armor of God. They're fighting Lucy with a rock. I got atomic bombs, love the Lord your God and all your brothers want your demons fall. Don't be deceived, know who the ops is. Keep the unity and peace, go far way across this. Came to preach the word of God like I'm born in Tarsus. Here to testify the things I've seen on road to Damascus. He's a real deal, the real thing, be glad you heard the King's speech. Blessed are those who reach the end and get to hear the Lord speak. GODs, POC, we fulfilled everything. Burning life, kerosene, burning life, legacy.
You will never see me stop in the future. The life that fulfills God's will continue. Everyone thinks I'm unfortunate because I go through suffering. But inside of me it's different. Because I walk the path of eternal life.
Burning life, Look at the flames in my eyes, watch it burn, but don't stare too long, you might lose your sight. Some people gunning for a downfall, but they'll never see our demise. Burning life, who's the one? I'm the one, he's the one. Are you the one? No, we're the ones who keep the fire going till the day we die, till they see the light, make it bright, till we hear the people say,
like Mary poured out her perfume on Jesus' feet, I must pour out my heart, mind, and love on the one who saved me.
Okay, so let's get into our final segment for today, and this happens every single Wednesday. It is the world news. What is happening around the world right now, and especially the time that we're living in? There's a lot of things that are happening, and this just broke today. And of course, this is Tuesday where I'm recording this, where there was an earthquake in Afghanistan. More than 800 people have died so far, and it's been a 6.0 earthquake. So they say survivors of an earthquake that killed more than 800 people and injured thousands in eastern Afghanistan has spent a night in the open as rescue efforts continue. Most of the deaths occurred in the mountainous Kunar province, which was closest to the epicenter of the 6.0 magnitude when it struck on Sunday night. Officials warned that the death toll may rise significantly as entire villages were destroyed. Several nations have already pledged aid, while some villages remain inaccessible, and local health facilities have been overwhelmed, right? So you guys got to know that Afghanistan is not just this earthquake, but they've had severe droughts, aid cuts, and the World Food Program describes as an unprecedented hunger crisis in Afghanistan. So, that's really sad. I hope that we can really pray for the people over there. There's a lot of people who have been affected by it. Now, we're going to move over to Sudan. And at least 1,000 people were killed in a Sudan landslide. And it says a landslide has killed at least 1,000 people in the remote Mara Mountains in western Sudan, according to the rebel group, the Sudan Liberation Movement Army. Days of heavy rain triggered the landslide on Sunday, which left just one survival and leveled much of the village of Tarasin, the group said in a statement. The movement has appealed for humanitarian assistance from the United Nations and other regional and international organizations. Many residents from North Darfur state had sought refuge in the Mara Mountains regions after war between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces forced them from their homes. Last but not least, we're going to get into Egypt. So we're still in Africa here, and there was a train derailment. So 3 people have already been killed and 103 others injured due to a train derailing while en route to the Egyptian capital of Cairo, the country's health ministry has said. The train had been traveling from the northern coastal city of Marsa Matruh when 7 of its carriages came off the tracks around 3:30 p.m. local time on Saturday, with 2 carriages being overturned. The health minister offered his condolences and prayers to the families of the victims and wished those injured a swift recovery. And the transport ministry said that the Egyptian National Railway Authority are investigating the cause of the crash, which remains unclear by the moment. So, a lot of these different disasters that are happening right now all over the world. It seems that, it's Middle East and Northern Africa at this moment. But we do know that, with what's going on spiritually in this time period, we know that it is very, very, it's very sad to see, because we know why it's happening, spiritually speaking. So I hope that it kind of moves us even more to pray more, to really have that mentality and mindset to really set those conditions even more greatly. And I hope that all of us will be able to set the conditions of prayer and really ask for forgiveness of this world, for Providence and everyone else too. All right. So there it is, guys. That is the end of the world news, top 3 news in the world right now. I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's Wednesday podcast. Have an amazing, awesome Wednesday service, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow on the Morning Star Drive on 117.8.
It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can stop me when I'm like this. I got my head in the zone, you know. I'm on the Morning Star Drive.